Hey, you ever feel like the world's just a stage and everybody's playing a part? That's how I felt, sitting alone in my own restaurant, dressed like I'd just rolled out of a thrift store dumpster. I'm Ethan Caldwell, worth about 10 billion, give or take. But that night, I was just Eddie, some guy in a frayed flannel shirt, chasing something you can't buy honesty. See, I run Caldwell Enterprises, a beast of a company with fingers in everything from high-end dining to cutting-edge biotech, headquartered right here in Seattle's glittering skyline. From my glass tower, I could shift markets with a phone call, but the higher I climbed, the lonelier it got. Everyone around me was polished to perfection: assistants, advisors, even my so-called friends, all smiling, nodding, agreeing with every half-baked idea I tossed out. It was like living in a hall of mirrors, every face reflecting back the Ethan they thought I wanted to see. The real me? The kid from Spokane who used to sketch buildings in his notebook, dreaming of being an architect? He got buried somewhere under stock options and penthouse views. So, every few months, I'd ditch the tailored suits, throw on some beat-up clothes, and go looking for something real. That night, my stage was the Silver Fork, my crown jewel of a steakhouse, a place where the elite drop thousands on a single bottle of wine. I'd never set foot in it, not as Ethan Caldwell, anyway. My COO, Marcus, swore it was a gold mine, but numbers don't tell you the soul of a place. I wanted to see it through the eyes of nobody special. I pushed through those heavy brass doors, the city noise fading into this warm hum of clinking glasses and low laughter. The place smelled like seared steak and money. The hostess, all glossy blonde hair and a smile sharp enough to cut glass, sized me up in a heartbeat corduroy jacket, scuffed boots, fake glasses that made me look like a broke professor. "Can I help you?" she asked, like I'd wandered into the wrong zip code. I played along, voice a little rougher than usual. "Just a table for one." Her eyes flicked over the room, packed with suits and evening gowns, and I could practically hear her thinking, "This guy doesn't belong." "We're fully booked," she said, tapping her tablet like it was a personal insult. "But I can squeeze you in. Near the kitchen. The worst seat in the house, a wobbly little table where the doors banged like a drumline. Perfect." I wanted to be invisible, to see the machine of my empire without the polish. From that corner, I watched it all: waiters gliding like sharks, sizing up tables for big tips. The manager, Victor Hayes, a slick guy with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, working the room like a politician. He laughed too loud, clapped backs too hard, but the second he turned away, his face went cold, barking orders at a busboy who flinched like he'd been slapped. It was a performance, all of it a well-oiled machine built on fake smiles and calculated charm. My heart sank. Was this what I created? A shiny shell with nothing inside? Then she appeared, Lila Harper, my waitress. She was young, maybe 23, with these wide hazel eyes that held a quiet storm. Her uniform was crisp but worn, her shoes practically falling apart, and there was this faint tremble in her hands as she set down a bread basket. "Evening, sir. I'm Lila," she said, soft but steady. "What can I get started for you?" No judgment, no sneer, just kindness. I ordered the cheapest beer on the menu, waiting for that flicker of disappointment. Nothing, just a nod and a smile, like I was as important as the CEO at table 5. I watched her move through the night, efficient but guarded, like she was carrying a weight nobody else could see. Her shoes told a story: cracked, worn soles, the kind you get when every dollar goes somewhere else. I didn't know it yet, but Lila was about to turn my little experiment upside down. I decided to push the test. When she came back, I looked her dead in the eye and ordered the King's Cut, a $500 ribeye that's basically a status symbol, paired with a $300 glass of 96 Bordeaux. Her eyes widened for a split second, but she didn't blink. "Excellent choice, sir," she said, like I hadn't just ordered half her rent. "How would you like it cooked?" "Medium rare," I told her, holding her gaze, daring her to question me. She didn't, just nodded and walked away, but I caught the manager, Victor, glaring from across the room. He stormed over to her, his face red, hissing something about "that bum at table 12. I couldn't hear the words, but I saw her shrink, her shoulders curling in like she was bracing for a hit. My gut twisted. This wasn't just about bad service. Something was wrong here, something ugly. As the night wore on, Lila kept serving me with that same quiet dignity, asking about the city in a way that felt real. Not like she was fishing for a tip, but like she actually cared. I found myself talking, really talking, about hidden spots in Seattle, the kind of places you don't find in guidebooks. She listened, her eyes lighting up just a fraction, and for the first time in years, I felt seen not as Ethan Caldwell, billionaire, but as Eddie, the guy who just wanted a beer and a conversation. Then, as she cleared my table, it happened. Her hand trembled, and she slid a folded napkin under the bill tray, quick as a whisper. I thought maybe it was her number, a plea for a tip, something desperate. I paid in cash, exact change, $867.53, no tip, another test. She didn't flinch, just said, "Thank you, sir," and walked away. But then she froze, turned back, and with this look of pure panic, tilted the tray just enough for the napkin to slide onto the table. "You forgot your tip," she whispered, barely audible, her eyes darting toward Victor, who was watching like a hawk. She covered the napkin with the tray again and bolted. My heart was pounding. This wasn't a tip. This was something else. Outside, under a flickering streetlight, I unfolded the napkin, and 4 lines hit me like a freight train. "They're watching you. The kitchen's not safe. Check Victor's ledger. He's poisoning the supply chain." My blood ran cold. This wasn't about bad service or a shady manager skimming tips. This was a bomb, threatening everything I'd built. Poisoning the supply chain? That could mean tainted food, sick customers, a scandal that'd torch my brand. I stumbled into a dive bar a few blocks away, ordered a whiskey I didn't drink, and called Marcus on my burner phone. "Something's wrong at the Silver Fork," I told him, reading the note aloud. Marcus, cool as ever with that British accent, tried to talk me down. Could be a disgruntled employee, Ethan. Slander's cheap, but I knew better. Lila's fear wasn't fake. "Give me everything on Victor Hayes," I said, "and I need to see that ledger. Tonight." Marcus sighed. "You can't break into your own restaurant." But I was already moving. "I'm not asking, Marcus. Make it happen." Enter Riley, a former CIA operative Marcus called in, a woman with eyes like steel and a vibe that said she could crack Fort Knox with a paperclip. She met me in an alley, handed me a janitor's jumpsuit, and laid out the plan. We'd pose as cleaners, slip in after closing, and hit Victor's office. Marcus had already hacked the cleaning company's schedule, adding us as last-minute hires. At 1 a.m., we walked through the service entrance, the place reeking of grease and bleach. While I pushed a mop bucket, playing lookout, Riley worked her magic looping cameras, disabling sensors, cracking the keypad on Victor's office door like it was a kid's diary. Inside, no ledger on the desk, but Riley spotted a safe hidden behind some dusty books. "What's on the walls?" I asked through the comms. "Photos of Victor with the mayor, some golf buddies, a little league team," she said. "Check the trophy." Sure enough, a 2023 plaque and Victor's jersey number 1 gave us the code. The safe popped open, cash, a passport, and a black leather ledger. Riley photographed every page, copied an encrypted drive from Victor's computer, and we were out, ghosts in the night. By dawn, Marcus's team had cracked it open. The ledger wasn't just shady accounting, it was a map to a criminal empire. Victor was funneling money through a fake supplier, Cascade Meats, buying condemned product from a shuttered plant called North Point, shut down for bacterial contamination. He was serving toxic meat to my customers, pocketing millions for some syndicate. And Lila? She was his pawn. Hidden videos showed him threatening her, using her sick brother's medical bills to force her to cook his books. Lila, with her 2 years of accounting classes and a brother fighting for every breath, was trapped, her conscience screaming while Victor held her life hostage. My test for honesty had uncovered a monster. The next morning, I walked into the Silver Fork, no disguise, just Ethan Caldwell in a suit that screamed power. Victor rushed to greet me, thinking I was some VIP, until he saw my face. "You," he choked, realizing the bum from table 12 was his boss. I sat at that same wobbly table, the staff frozen, Lila clutching a stack of menus, her eyes wide with terror. "Victor," I said, voice calm but sharp, "we need to talk." In his office, I pointed to the safe. "That where you keep your deal with North Point?" His face went gray. Marcus laid out the evidence ledgers, invoices, videos of him bullying Lila. "You blackmailed her," I said, my voice dropping to a growl. "Used her brother's life to make her your accomplice. That's low, even for you." Victor tried to squirm. "She helped." She's in on it. I called Lila in. She stood there, trembling, but when she spoke, her voice was steel. He threatened my brother. I had no choice. I nodded to the FBI agents behind me. Take him. As they cuffed Victor, the room went silent. I turned to Lila, her eyes brimming with tears. You risked everything to do what was right, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Your debt's gone. Your brother's medical bills? Covered for life. And you're not waiting tables anymore. I'm creating a role director of ethical oversight. You'll make sure this never happens again. You in? She stared, disbelieving, then whispered, yes. The staff erupted in applause, a weight lifting off the room. Lila wasn't just a waitress, she was a hero. That night changed me. I went looking for honesty and found a woman who risked it all to protect strangers. My empire's still standing, but it's Lila's courage that redefined what it means to be rich. It's not about the money, it's about the lives you touch. So what do you think? Was Lila a hero? Or was she reckless? Could you take a stand like that, knowing it might cost everything? Drop a comment. Share your story. Let's talk about the fights worth fighting. And if this hit you, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit subscribe for more real stories that'll make you believe in people again.